Hello, Sujeet.
Hi, Aryan.
Yes, we'll just let people join in another 5 to 7 minutes and then we'll start.
Sure, no worries.
Sujeet, I think around 30 people have joined, so people will just keep on joining, and I think we can start the session. If
Okay, no
that's
worries. Yeah, let
yes,
people join whenever they want. We can get started. Yeah.
yes. So hi Sujeet, I am Aryan from C2C, and I'll be your host for today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Thank you
So
for calling me for C2C events, right?
yes,
I'm not sure whether you know this or not, but I'm a VIT alumni, right?
yes, we know that. Yes, yes,
So it's great to back to the college, right?
yeah.
Hosting events, yeah.
Yes. So essentially, what the essence of the session is, we try to plan it on every Saturday, and then we preferably call in VIT alumnus only, so that they also have an idea how actually things work in college, how and people can feel the relatability also, right? Like how you prepared, they can also, it's not essentially copy paste, but at least take a reference, right?
Right.
So yes. So I think we'll start the session. So my first question would be like, when we saw your LinkedIn profile and we were researching about it, so you started as a technology intern at Deutsche Bank, and now you are the vice president. And in the same organization, you haven't switched ever. You just stayed in Deutsche Bank. So what are the things that you tried to do in your first 1 or 2 years which maybe helped you becoming a VP so early? Because usually what happens is people take a lot of time and do a lot of switches as well. But you complete this trajectory a lot earlier than others as far as we have researched. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Right. So it's been a long journey, right? So I've known the organization for last 10 years. So as you have already searched over LinkedIn, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of, I'm lucky to get this opportunity, right, to be a technology intern because
Mm-hmm.
organizations recently started. That time it was not a hype of so much internship, right, in the industry. It used to be in mechanical industry, but post that it started in IT industry, right? And it was the first ever course in VIT which started, right? So nowadays people spend 2 months in summer holidays as internship. We spent our 6 months in the industry as an
Okay.
internship, right? We went. So it was not the last semester as well. It was the second last semester. So fourth year, first semester. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of a difficult, right? Because when you go to industry, right, after your studies and you have to come back to college again to finish your studies, the relatability gets different. Because when you are in industry, you started working on practical things, but on back to college, you started learning on textbooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that time I realized that textbooks are good, okay, but what uh, matters is real world examples, right? Problem solving abilities, right? Textbook gives you a way to understand those problems, help you to let's say make your fundamentals strong, right? But ultimately when you are put into a situation where you have to take split second decisions, right, whether to run this code or not, or whether to solve this problem or not, right, that is where you actually journey starts into organization, any industry, right? It's not very specific to technical industries, right, like IT or mechanical, but any industry whatsoever you say, right? If you go for MBA, whatever it is. uh, so when I started as an intern, obviously I was scared, right? After college, you go into organization where there are a lot of people, everyone coming into formals, and after that, meetings, corporate meetings, kind of thing, right? You started hearing a lot of jargons, right? But the most important thing is to ask, right? You always ask for help. Okay, I've s- I've noticed or observed that whenever any graduate come to organization, they are scared, obviously, but they kind of bit hesitate to ask. But whereas the senior people are always welcome to support, right? Me being currently mentoring a lot of grads, I realize that it's not always about the knowledge or the coding part of it, right? It's always about the attitude as well. It's good to have a trainable problem solver as compared to that of a perfect coder, right? So that's where I started asking people help. Over the period of time, I realized what it takes to make a network, right? And once you get good in technical, then the next step comes in leadership, kind of a people management kind of thing, right? Because ultimately any organization, any company runs with people, right? It's I'm nowadays I'm hearing that AI can run things, right? But ultimately there's people who are overlooking on top of it, right? So that is where the next step comes in picture, the people connect, right? You start getting into networks where you hear a lot of things, right? On top of it, you start getting noticing what people are doing differently, what your leaderships is doing differently. And this observation and the technical expertise plus the overall journey actually helped me in getting into this vice president kind of role too early, right? Because you understand kind of the organization first, right? And on top of it, it's like you see a leader who is already in a VP role. You try to kind of mimic or be a mentee to him, and you start working on their career path. But it's, even though you get mentored by them, but it's your own journey. So everyone has to think through it, right? So whenever, in fact, for me, all of you guys must have hearing that the leadership qualities, all those things, right? Jargons, but ultimately it's your journey, right? Whenever you get into organization over the period of time, you need to start understanding what the organization want, right? What the people want in the organization, and the last thing is what you want as your career growth. So it's individual journey, what I can say. But I'll say two things. One is curiosity to always do something nice and understand what is the problem. And second is connect with people. These two things actually helped me to be where I am right now.
I think yes, connecting with people is a lot more important. Like networking is a bit of an overused word, but it actually helps a lot, right? So, like, extending on to that, how can we build those connections? Of like, I can't just go there and ask someone who is a lot more capable than me. So, for example, if a senior is over there and he's experienced for 10, 20 or 10, 20, 25 years, so how do you actually talk to them and how do you actually build your connection over there? If you could give us an example.
Right. So first of all is starting. There's this thing coming up over your awkwardness, right?
Mhm.
As you said, right? These are seniors. These are experienced people in industry, right? That's the awkwardness you get always, right? It's always when I see grads or newcomers in the organization, right? It's always good to have a connect with them, right? Informally as well, to
Mhm.
understand what their thought process is nowadays, right? Because it's almost been a decade where technologies are shifting, right? Where a generation shift used to happen over a decade, now it's happening in 2 3 years as well, right? So I think it's kind of an awkwardness thing, which maybe you guys feel that it's difficult to go to them, talk over it.
Mhm.
Just go stand over there. You ask them whether I can talk with you for a couple of minutes, right? Ask them what they are doing, right? How much longer they are in that organization, right? What is their day to day activity, right? And just say that they're happy to connect with you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
It's just the awkwardness, to be
Mhm.
frank, right? And if you want to actually showcase around things, right, there are multiple platforms in any organization.
Mhm.
Something like a junior network for
Okay.
junior people when they started, right? Something like a technical connect kind of thing, organization level hackathons where teams gets created, right? Some sport events, whatever it is. That is where you start creating your network, right, informally. And over the period of time, you started understanding that you stay in that network and you start learning a lot of things with mutual interest, right? So let's say I have an interest into something like any technology, right? Someone else has that interest. We always talk about that technology, and ultimately we form a network, a good network, right? That's how the network grows.
All right. All right. Uh, yes. Just my second question would be like, when you look back to your college years, so what are the skills that you would think that are relevant nowadays, so that the students have to learn them and students should learn them, that will help them getting the internship specifically and for the final year student getting placements, especially in financial firms like banks, and if you could relate them to startups as well, because there's a complete difference in that, right? So startups demand something else and MNCs or banks require something else. So if you could just touch light upon that.
Right. So I'll go with two words. One is skill, and
Mhm.
second is will. Right. So every organization, irrespective whether it's a startup or established Fortune 500 companies, right? They always look at these two things: skill and will. If you have skill, right, and a will to learn something new, organizations always look for that, right? So to you guys, right, to secure an internship, to secure placements, right? What I suggest is brush up your fundamentals, right? I know fundamental sounds boring when you're reading in a book, right? In terms of multiple concepts, right? You are saying These are something which you are never going to work on industry, right? But it's always important to understand your fundamentals. One, right? Second is start having that problem solving mindset, right? Look into the problem so that you don't actually directly go into answers. Trace the answer, right? This is my step one. This is going to be step two, right? Over the period of time, this is the way I'm going to solve this problem,
Right.
right? That is very important. So solving mindset is, I think, very important. And last but not least, your confidence and soft skills, right? Imagine you go into a interview, you are getting too much nervous, right? Even if you know all the answers, you are not able to properly explain them,
Mm-hmm.
not able to properly um, tell the interviewer what is going through your minds, right? They will ultimately have a bias that you may don't know that thing, right? Wherever
Mm-hmm.
you already know that. So building that confidence and soft skills are also important. So these three things will get you anywhere.
Okay. Um, I have a bit of a personal question maybe, or something which could relate. So we are always taught through videos and YouTube, whatever we scroll through. Cold reach out is a very nice mechanism to actually get to know someone. So you must have also received a lot of cold DMs, cold emails. So out of all of them, do you remember any of them that okay, this one actually made an impact on me, that I could actually listen to this person and I could actually give their resume a look? So, do you have any suggestion for that?
It's not like I get a lot of cold DMs over LinkedIn and all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like any exceptional case comes to my mind, because see, uh, over the period of time, everyone need to understand everyone is struggling, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
life, right? There are a lot of bad things happening in parallel, a lot of good things happening, right? Someone reaching over to you over LinkedIn, right, with his or her resume, right? There's no means drawback in just going through it, right? Because when you are kind of a manager or a hiring manager, work in industry, you can quickly go through the resume in 5 seconds. I can tell you
Mm-hmm.
the technologies and all. Uh, Only thing is, the person who is sending that should be acceptable enough to get your own get the feedback, right? Many a times I get um, DM saying that please refer me. Okay, but I see the resume, right? It's like they hardly have a experience of, let's say, any experience, right? But when you talk about referrals, people need to understand that campus placements is a different thing and referral is a different thing, right?
Right.
Referral is kind of a literal kind of thing, right? So where you
Mm-hmm.
need experience, minimum set of experience, right? So when I go and say no to them, that is where things go wrong, right? I
Mm-hmm.
really tell them that we do fresher hiring or campus placements into campus, right? And if even if the person is experienced, I ask him to go to the career page and get a job ID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then tell me, because uh, you send a resume, there are 15 roles open across
Right.
the organization. I don't know which one are there, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have to go over there, search, right? It's not right. You see, right? I'm not going to spend too much time into that. So I just tell them go over on the career page, give me a job ID, and that is where they come back saying that any role will do. Just give me a role,
Mm-hmm.
right? It doesn't work that way. Referrals are very important thing, right? Because if you stop kind of asking referrals to good people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then it is like you are just circulating your resume to people who are ignoring you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So just ensure that whenever you are asking for your referral, you do a thorough research over the company, what roles are available over the careers page, right? Every company has their careers page, so you just go over there, see what sort of technology stack they have, right? And it is for every industry, right? So they just have to go through it, understand what company is asking is actually relevant, right,
Mm-hmm.
for their role, and then reach out for referral. In that way, yeah, obviously they have some chance.
Right. Okay. My next question would be that during your trajectory as a student, so did you have a dream company in mind, like Deutsche Bank or some other company which you aimed for, and how did you prepare for that company?
Uh, it's not like dream company. I'll tell you this very frankly, right? Back in 2016, when I got passed out,
Mhm.
internet was not a luxury.
Right.
I remember in my final year or second last year, right? Internet used to be very costly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think 300 rupees you get 1 GB, right?
Right.
WhatsApp was kind of a startup, right? Early startup kind of thing, and the reach was very limited, right? So we never heard Mon stacks, we never
Mm-hmm.
heard bank companies. Nowadays, I think it's a mango company, right? All those things were never there, right? So it was like you prepare for what is going to come
Right.
as a part of campus placements, right? It's like you brush up your fundamentals, ensure that you are good at your fundamentals, right? Because you know that you are coming from a CS or IT background, right? Your fundamental has to be strong first. Second is hands-on coding, right? Because obviously that's the role day one, and on top of it, be confident, right? So it's like I don't want to get nervous and just lose out my answers or give answers, right? So that was pretty important. Even if I didn't knew any answer, I was just about to say that I don't know because I never heard of it at
Mm-hmm.
the time, right? Uh, that was the thing back then. Now things has totally changed, right? Change in a way, good and bad both, right? Good way that you have access to a lot of information nowadays over internet, and it's free, almost free. But in the bad sense that students are getting confused. There are, let's say, 30 different courses for the same thing over internet. Everyone is giving it for free. People don't understand what they need to take. They either do class one here, class two here, right? Different courses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they just want to sit silently, understand what they want to achieve in their lifespan, how they want to grow their career, right? Is it like they want to be a full stack engineer, they want to be a data engineer, they want to be some AML engineer, right? DevOps engineer, whatsoever the engineer they want to be. They just have to sit and they just have to Google or think it through their plan, right? To get you moving for at least 3 to 5 years, what they need to learn. In 3 to 5 years, you are in industry, you started getting everything.
Right.
Networks, you started getting new technology work, right? You started knowing what are your best things, what are your bad things, right? Everything. So it's all about serving the early years and making good impact in the organization. That's it.
Mm-hmm. So, like you mentioned, that we have a lot of resources on our hand, and still people don't plan their interviews well or tag their interview for whatever reason. So, you must have also taken a lot of interviews, right, for candidates. So, can you tell me some mistakes, the common mistakes that the people who are interviewing you gave mistakes, and mostly on the low level, like interns or just entry level roles. So, what are the common mistakes that they do, and we should avoid them?
Uh, Making a super fancy resume, I can say.
Okay.
Just because a word is buzzing in the industry, it doesn't mean that you have to put it into your resume. I went to campus placements, right? And that is where people give their projects in a very deep description saying that I have used this model, I have done this, right? Some XYZ I have done, right? And when I go in depth for that, right? Ultimately, what I get to know is people just call that API,
Mm-hmm.
right? Of open AI kind of API, right? They didn't actually spend time enough to understand what is going under the hood.
Right.
Right? If you're putting something on your resume, always ensure that your fundamentals are clear, or else don't put.
Okay.
See, as an intern, we are not looking for some rocket science engineers, right? We are not looking for next APJ Abdul Kalam. It's very simple. We want people who understand the fundamental, who are ready to learn, and we are ready to teach, right? Because if you see, uh, you guys must be getting placed or as an intern in third year of college, right? Third or
Yes.
second year, whatever it is. 2 years of college will not teach you anything quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of two months holiday exams, right? 2 year coursework is very small, but we accept that as an intern. We are ready to teach you. We are ready to train you. It's just that we want to find that right attitude, right, as well as the right skills in that resume. Okay, so I'll suggest ensure that whatever you put in resume has to be clean and clear. If you don't know something, don't put it. Don't just put the resume words into resume just for the sake of making it fancy, which is happening nowadays a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I just wonder, when did you get your internship? In which year?
So I started my internship in 1st June 2015.
Okay.
right? So the internship was from 1st June 2015 till 31st of December 2015.
Right.
I went back to college again in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then I got passed out in July 2016,
Okay.
right? And after that, I joined the organization. Because of some personal reason, I actually took a break for 6 to 7 months, right?
Okay.
But it was like the performance and the impact which I made during my internship time, right? I got obviously I got PP offer early. Because of that, I joined after my completion of graduation. But after once I was on 7 month break, the people here told me that whenever you want to come back, just give us a call. We'll get you.
Okay.
My couple personal problem was solved, and it was just a new year. I wished them. They called back asking that, what do you think? You want to join? And when you get that sort of response from someone in your organization, right? Like people
Mm-hmm.
believe in you that they are asking you to come, right?
Yes.
So early. That time you have a different level of confidence. I went,
Mm-hmm.
came, right? And it's a long journey after that.
Right. So yes, I also wanted to ask upon that only. Like getting an internship and then working an internship are just complete two different things, right? Completely different. So what did you ensure to do in the organization? Because at an intern level, we really can't do much before we are assigned work. So how do we actually display that? Okay, I can do the work that you have assigned me, but I have some more skills which I can apply to some other projects or some other, because even they are in the process of evaluating us. So, to be fair on both ends, so how do we ensure that we get that PPO that we want?
Right. So a couple of things on this, right? One is understanding what you are work you are given, right?
Mm-hmm.
Solving that problem. One. Second is be curious about it. Because
Mm-hmm.
you're given a small task as an intern, right, to do something. From where exactly that problem or that question came, understand the whole landscape, right? Don't do just the small piece. Understand the bigger picture, right? This will help you to understand complete project, and people will appreciate you when you talk about that, right, in your project. So it's like you are given, for example, create some system, right? Wherever you doesn't know anything about that system, how that system is going to impact someone else, how it
Mm-hmm.
is going to help someone, right? Because we are working towards making people life simple, right, using technology. And once you understood that how these systems are making people's life easy, you go someone, you talk, or if someone asks some sort of question, you are always have some kind of opinion about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing. Understand the bigger picture whenever a small task is given during internship. First. Second is don't be afraid to learn something new,
Right.
right? Because that time I never means I was aware of Unix systems, Ubuntu, and all those things in computer engineering, right? But it was like a simple set of commands. I never worked on 50 or 60 pages long shell scripts.
Mm-hmm.
That time, someone taught me that these are some commands stitched together in a very way to get them run in a single flow, right? So never be scared about these small things. Even if you don't know, ask for help, Google around it. Information is available online. Just understand the right information and solve those problems. That was second thing. And third thing is kind of a cherry on the top, right? So what you can do different among your peer. So for example,
Mm-hmm.
a problem task is given, you are able to solve that problems task, you are able to learn the technology, right? But cherry on the cake is how you are going to make a difference, right? For example, that time uh, Python was just started coming up 2016-15, right? People used to know these languages, but it was not that hype because of data science and all those things. So I told people that this is a problem. I did this right this way as organization does. But if you do this way, there's a process efficiency. There is this advantages, right? Just let me know your thoughts. It's not like you have to do, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Some work, they have some timelines. Everything will be there. But just put a thought in their mind that this is something which I have researched apart from what I have been told, and this can help them over a period of time in terms of code maintainability, in terms of process efficiencies,
Mm-hmm.
scripting, right? All those things. So just put a cherry on the top. Don't restrict yourself to that work which you are given. Identify the problem and how efficiently you can solve those problems. Yeah.
Right.
So I think these three things will help you ace your interviews and get PPO, I can say.
Okay. Okay. I also wanted to ask, like, there are a lot of avenues right now. Like earlier, there were very less avenues to actually go into engineering. There was only full stack, and nowadays a full stack, AIML, like big data and cloud also. So how does one student find their interest into what actually they like? There could be a different thing. I can be skilled at something, but I cannot apply it in corporate world, or maybe I could be good at a certain skill, and that may be applicable in the corporate world. So I should learn about that. So how should I find my interest and then pursue it over?
See, finding interest is a different thing, right? There are two different things. One is finding your own interest,
Hmm.
and is what you are good at. Okay. So when you found your interest, you develop your college, you get hands on everything you do during your college period using that. Okay. But when you come to industry, obviously the main reason for getting freshers or interns in the organization is to feel that energy which you guys bring on the table, right? Imagine an intern coming, sitting in a corner, just doing his work, leaving at 6 in the evening, right? And after that, not being at parties, not socially networking, not being bringing that energy around the table, right? uh, that will be miss of your own energies, right? So
Hmm.
I think that early young energy is important. And second is your adaptability to things. You are still young, right? In terms of your learning technology experience. So we can always adapt you to a specific technology or this. Uh, but your interest can be somewhere else. Right? And that is where actually your leadership comes in picture. Right? Your leadership understands after observing you what you are good at. Right? It's I
Hmm.
believe all human beings are good at something. It's just that whether they know it or not. Right? So assume that you are good at something, right? Then it comes to your leadership, right? For example, uh, people come to me saying that I want to work on full stack. Okay. I was like, okay, why not? I give task to them, assign something. After a period of time, realize they are good at data engineering because they go in so deep into data to understand that data.
Hmm.
Always contribute over there. And people who always wanted to be a full stack over the period of time actually been a great data engineer and went to fan companies I know of, right? So that's altogether a different thing. So it's like interest is a different thing. Second is what you're good at. So maintain a balance between both of these, right? And in college times, I think it's all about fundamentals and hands-on coding. Why
Hmm.
you guys have to too much worry about it? There are a couple of things around only. There are, I think, Java, Python, and AIML. I don't or Spark, right? Big data. I don't see anything around that. Even if you go for big data, you need to know Java, Python. Even if you go for AIML, you need to go learn Java, Python. Same goes for big data, right? So know your programming language. Don't get confused between Java, Python.
Hmm.
And I think other stacks are just SDKs to plug and play.
Hmm. Okay. How did you prepare for your interviews, and what would you give advice to the people who are in third, and fourth year, and specifically for some second year students as well, because it is a lot early for them, second year student, but they can start preparing for that, right? So, what are the things you would recommend them to?
Right. So I'll tell you what I prepared. Okay. I ensured that all my fundamentals are strong. One.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you go for interviews for any company, right? Ultimately, they will ask you fundamentals only, oops concept, DSAs, right? Your search algorithms, your graph algorithms, right? When it is a part of your course, right? People actually don't give a damn about it, to be very frank, right? They are just that I'll get a good grade if I pass this, right? And I solve this problem. But over the period of time, you need to start understanding that these are not problems, these are a mindset, right? Which helps you to solve a problem over a period of time. So I'll suggest understand the way the problem can be solved. One, okay, instead of directly solving the problem as per the textbooks. Right nowadays, a lot of platforms are there in terms of coding, Lead Code, HackerRank, right? A lot of there. So just go over there, solve a couple of problems, understand how the problem. There are different approaches to those problems, right? Optimize versus brute force and all those things. So do that. Uh, so that will help you to be in the your role. One, right? Second is learn from the internet, right? Not in terms of courses. Learn from the internet in terms of new technologies coming up, right? What these technologies are doing to solve people's problem, right? To be just to tell you, for example, People are using nowadays AI into medical field, right, to detect early cancers, all those kind of things, right? These are technologies only, and ultimately someone at some place is going to code that, right? So just be aware of it. It doesn't have to be like you have to be a master of it, right? But you can be always aware of it. I have heard of this, right? Nowadays everyone uses chat gpt on their phone, right, to ask questions, Gemini, right? People need to understand how they are working under the hood. I'm not asking for a complete architecture diagram, but at least you can tell how the LLMs are working, what they are doing differently, right, and how they are solving your problems as well. So these two things, a little bit of, more than little, almost every bit of your fundamentals, right? The coursework and all, and on top of it, kind of what is going in the industry.
Right. Okay. My next question is, it is a lesser known, not a lesser known or boring skill in corporate, that we have a lot of documentation work there as well, right? So, how do you build onto that documentation from early on? Because after we go into corporate, we get a big hit that okay, we have to do this also. Documenting the whole work. It's not just coding. It's a lot more on this side as well. So, how do you do that and develop that skill?
Right. So when people say it's documentation, I say that it's important.
Hmm.
Right? You assume that you are a part of a team, right? You have a work, right, which you have done after putting a lot of effort, right, and it is imprinted in your mind. You don't have a document. You're like so bored that you didn't put anything on the paper as well, right? You just write codes or did it something, delivered it, right? Now imagine a graduate comes, a new team member comes, right? Every time they have to come and ask, right, have any doubts about that functionality or feature or that product, they'll always come to you and ask you the questions.
Hmm.
Instead of that, even if you have spent, let's say, 100 200 uh, means 100 200 minutes, right, of your time, half an hour or 1 hour, right, you can always create documentations, and people can always, you are like, ping the link, go through this, come back, ask me questions. Saves my time, saves your time, as simple as that, right? And nowadays I think in terms of code documentations, there are multiple plugins available, right, where you can just plug and play, and automatically with the help of AI the documentation auto gets created, right? Nowadays organizations started having AI and Copilot, GitHub Copilots, Gemini, everything into your code. You just ask them questions, they will automatically give you documentations. So it's just all about just putting it to a right place, right? Something like a content management system in your organization, where you can just document something and share it across as a link to someone else. Helps you, and also it helps more than in terms of making your life easy. It helps in you in terms of networking, right? Um, I I'm sure you guys already heard of Medium platform, right?
Hmm.
When
Yes.
search people putting blogs, right? Now you see that someone put a very nice blog of what they worked on. Now you follow that person. It's their network now, right? It's kind of a reach. So imagine having doing the same thing inside our organization. You put something into your internal Confluence or internal CMS, right? And someone searches about something, they see that you have done that, go through that document, and ultimately if they are having some sort of doubt, they will always reach out to you, and that is you start building networks, right? Then they will talk about their problem, you will tell about your problem, how both of you guys align to it, how you guys solve to it, right? So that's another way of creating a network, that I can say. So it's, I know it's boring, but it's important to save your own time, is what I feel.
Yes. Exactly. Can you also tell us, like, how did you build up on your soft skills? Were you in any college clubs?
I'm kind of not into college clubs, right? I was more into, I can say, kind of publicity clubs you guys have, right? Where you
Hmm.
go into different colleges, interact with people. It's not like a technical club. I think you guys
Right.
have something robotics and all those things.
Right.
Technical
Right.
clubs are also
Yes.
there. But I was always into this entertainment kind of club, right? Because
Mhm.
technology is something which I'm reading every day. I don't want to go and again do my time pass into that technology.
Yes.
Instead of that, I go into publicity clubs, multimedia clubs. I interact with people, right? Dance clubs, right? I'm not a dancer, but my friend is, right? So I used to hang around with him, and then I started making network, understanding how people think, how people work, right? What way they are doing things, and that is how you start building your soft skills.
Mm. Right. So this is a very commonly asked questions during all our sessions, because they cannot find student cannot find a balance between how much should you focus on your skills, but also soft skills are also important as well, right? Yeah. So my one more question to you is, like in the recent years we have seen that people always recommend that you should shift your company or shift your organization in every maybe 3 to 4 years, and you have been in Deutsche Bank since the beginning. So what is the key reason that you decided to only stay here?
Right. So I'll tell you. Think it like a journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that you keep on shifting every 3 years. What do you shift for? Right? A better life,
Yes.
better salary, a better growth, right, in organization, or a better company.
Mm.
I didn't shift, right, because my growth was good over here, right, given the work I'm putting. And on top of it, even if I put the same amount of work into another company after 3 years, I'll be a fresher over there for that company, right? They will always prefer someone who has been there for a very long period as compared to that of mine, right? So it's kind of a company that prefers company. I agree with the terms like loyalty and all, right? But it's not about loyalty. Understand from the company perspective, right? They have a person who is there in that company for a longer time, understand company's culture, right? On top of it, it's like they know how the system works. Company will always bet and move them into different higher roles, right? So ultimately, I think I'm here because of a good growth, one challenge, right? It's not like the day, not a single day went when I didn't challenge myself, right, in terms of work. So I always felt challenged. It's not like I'm just sitting on my desk doing some Excel, not solving any problem, not feeling challenged enough, getting bored. It was not there, right? And the last thing, which is very important, I don't know whether you guys have heard or it was a very kind of 2020s kind of jargon, right? You never leave a company, you leave your team or manager, right? In terms of that, I got touch wood, I got good people around me, like good leadership, good team, and my leaders used to believe in me, and it keeps you motivated. So that's very important. So money is good, right? But ultimately, at some point of time, what I feel is if you have too much money, then you are the first head to cut to save
Mm.
money. Right? That's also a true thing in industry, right? Whether you guys know this or not, but as your salary grows over a period of time, right? When any organization wants to cut down some because of some business decisions, operational decisions, right? They always find these high cost resources and cut them down, right? And so it's kind of important to have your salary also in that non-cuttable bracket kind of thing.
So something new, I don't know about this.
No, it happens, right? To be very frank, see, if you see nowadays, people talk about packages, right? It's not like human as a human being, right, is very greedy. You give them as much money as you can, right? People have millions and billions still crying around their net worth, right? So it's just about people who have 10,000 as well. They're happy. They're spending. Right? So it's just about finding the right balance.
Right. Uh, so we actually put a small Slido, if you can see in the. So we have some questions in that as well. So I'll just go over them. Amay, are you there in the meet? Can you share your screen? Yes. Yes.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm able to see. Yes.
I'll just read it out for anyone who's just listening. What do you suggest a TY student should do in the sixth semester to secure a good internship? And what was your schedule when you were in TY?
Right. So third year, I think is pretty important in terms of having internships because that is the time when company actually want to have interns, right? Understand what companies used to come into college, one, right? What they've hired in past, right? What they were looking on. LinkedIn now, you guys can always reach out to your alumni, understand what they were looking into, right? In terms of technical skills and all. In terms of schedule, I don't think you need a different schedule, right? It's just that uh, I don't know. Means if you are attentive enough in class, knows your fundamentals, study about it on a regular 2 hour or 4 hour basis every day, right? You're good. I don't think it to be very challenging. You don't have to study like UPSC for 12 to 15 hours, right? I used to go to movies, study, bunk classes, right? And enjoy your college life as well. It's important. You are not going to get that life back, right? So just
Yes.
maintain a balance.
Yes. So the second question is, I am in my first year. My branch is instrumentation, but I want to get tech internship and placement. So what should be my roadmap?
Right. So this is the question which I usually get a lot, right? People go into different branches because of the college name and all those things, but they ultimately want to go into tech industry. So it's like kind of going to first class, right? First of all, understand what sort of tech or technologies are there, right? And start building one by one. Ask your peers, right? I believe the first year used to be a common year, right? Get in connect with the people who are there in the core branches, right? Which you want or interested in. Understand their curriculum, and I think college curriculums are there on every website. Right?
Hmm.
Just to, for example, if you want to go into tech internships into computer or mechanical, right? Just go through their curriculum and understand what they are teaching. And yeah, it will need a little bit more effort in terms of discipline and all to learn all those things. But I think it should be doable. It's just a consistent journey, just like your college 4 years. Give your 2 years into your own growth, learn things, solve problems. Yeah, that will be your roadmap.
Mm-hmm. So just extending onto this a bit, recently what TPO does is it does not allow some other core branches for sitting. I don't know if it was the same case in your year, but they have recently not allowed like instrumentation, maybe mechanical or chemical to sit for tech companies. So that bar is already over there. So how would you suggest someone to actually reach out to them personally, maybe on LinkedIn or some other way, other means, and then they can actually relate to them like, okay, I am in chemical right now, but I'm in instrumentation right now, but I have the skills that you need for the job. So if you have any
Right.
something.
So that gets very challenging, right, in terms of placement. Obviously, TPO does that, right, and
Mhm.
what is going in the industry from a very long time, right? Because company also put that criteria. I want students
Right,
with
right.
this only. But what I feel is, even you actually are totally interested into getting into tech, start with a small company, right? Your journey
Mm.
will be slow, but the jump you will get later will be very high, right? For example,
Okay.
let's say you spend 1 and 2 years into a company, right, which is not paying you much enough or having a lot of workload, but at least it will give you a start to understand that what the tech is doing, how the things are, right, and to get into day-to-day activity with that technology or how the industry is working. Once you are in the industry into a small company, then you can always switch into bigger companies in the same industry with required skills. Yeah? So securing that small company job is important, and I think with LinkedIn and a lot of platforms, you can always have that now.
Okay. Yes. So the next question is C plus plus Java plus DS is sufficient for campus placement in big product based companies.
Yes, these are sufficient, right? If you are totally good with the fundamentals, one. Second is no. You have to be also knowing what is going around in the industry, as I already told, right? That is also important because nowadays
Mhm.
people talk about AI ML, right? You need to understand how they are solving the problem. And third is soft skills, right? Even if you know C++, Java, DSA, right? You are not able to, what's say,
Communicate them.
tell how you're going to solve that problem, right? What I've seen that people do a lot of lead code and they are able to solve that problem. But when I ask about some different approach or some different criteria, right, or confuse them, they go totally out of their mind. They just like this is a single way I did it, right? So
Mhm.
any solution has to be like a step by step solution so that you understand the complete pathway to it.
Okay. Next is how to prepare for behavioral questions from company to company and how to know exactly what they expect from a candidate.
It's very ambiguous questions, right? Because if I know what candidate knows or a candidate expect from that interviewer, right, apart from a job offer or a select decision, right? uh, things will be very simple, right? It doesn't work that way. So I think in terms of preparing for behavioral questions, in behavior there is no right or wrong answer. It's always about doing ethically thing, right? Companies, yeah, uh, put you into a situation in terms of interviews, right, where they are always want to see how your mind works, right? For example, if someone says, give just an example I'll give you. If someone says someone is not doing his work, right? Someone gives you a work, what do? Right? People say that I'll do it, I'll stretch something, and what if it is happening very frequent, right? So it's like a work-life balance distraction, right? That time candidate doesn't say anything. So that time you need to tell that once a while it is fine, but if I go back, I see it happening more often. I'll talk with that person, understand if they need any support in terms of getting their work done, right? If that is not the case and the person is just not in the right way doing these things, right? I'll go back to the hiring managers of the specific role, right?
Mhm.
The managers, and talk with them, have one-on-one sessions with the department and all heads, right, to address these kind of issues. So it's always about doing the right thing, right, in a right way, I can say.
Okay. Next question is, what interview question should I expect from a fintech company given my knowledge of cloud concepts and system design fundamentals? The person asking is a TY student.
Okay. Fintech company. So the round one, it's not always about cloud concepts, yeah. So every company, irrespective fintech or a technology company, they always have multiple rounds, and based on the level they are asked for questions, right? Level one is going to be always about your basic fundamentals in computer engineering, right? DS and all those, your hands-on coding and all. Level two will come to your knowledge kind of thing, right? Cloud concepts. When you claim that you know cloud concepts, right, they will always ask you how the system works, how the cloud works, right? What technologies in the cloud you worked upon, and how they are solving some sort of problem, right, with the help of it. System design fundamentals. I think nowadays it's in hype for only one reason, right? So I think problem solving mindset. People wanted to understand, or the interview want to understand how your mind works in terms of solving a problem, right? It's like uh, if I given a problem or to design a company, I wanted to see how that person puts the block right together to make that company one by one, right? It's not like that you are actually going to do on day one, but over a period of time, if you are going to mentor other people, if you're going to be a part of a bigger team, right, you need to think in that direction also in terms of architecture as well, right? So I think system fundamentals are also important.
Okay. Next question is, as a third year student, is doing DevOps and AWS worth it?
Yes, it's worth it. I'll give you statistics, right? In industry, DevOps is a very important skill, right? I understand that DevOps doesn't have any lead code. It doesn't have any actual coding competitions kind of thing, right? But assume that you wrote a code, you want to deploy it somewhere, you want to host it somewhere, right? That is where your development operation comes in picture,
Hmm.
right? So understanding what exactly DevOps is, right? AWS is cloud. I won't go with AWS only, but any cloud will do. Understand
Hmm.
cloud infrastructure, right? AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, anything will do. So it's not going to be kind of AWS kind of thing, but yeah, it's good to know that people are still interested in DevOps and understand what fundamental of DevOps are, right? On top of software engineering, right? It gives you that edge around other candidates.
Okay. Next question is, from a data engineer's perspective, where do you see data engineering as a good career option, and where do you see it growing?
Okay, so it's kind of very good career options. I'll be very frank with you, right? But it also is a very challenging one, right? Because when you say data, now because of the technical footprint, the data technically is growing, right? Day in, day out. So unless and until you actually know the data engineering in depth, right, it is not going to help. So if you are going to be a data engineer, learn data engineering in depth, right? It's not only about SQL, running SQLs, it's also about understanding your data, how the data, what the data is, right? And also understanding big data concepts, right? And how the data can be used for analytical thing. In fact, um, I don't know how many of you have worked on AI/ML, but ultimately what AI/ML is, what these LLMs are getting trained on, right? They are getting trained on some sort of data only
Hmm.
on top of it. So it's all about people need to use that data, and data engineering help them use that. Yeah. So it's a good career option, I'll say.
Okay. Next question is, what are your thoughts on data engineering, cloud engineering role being affected by AI in the upcoming days?
Uh, See, nowadays people need to understand that AI is not going to replace you, one, but that doesn't mean that you should not use it, right? What company ultimately wants is efficiency, right? So assume that you were writing some sort of code which you are doing in 2 days. Now, with the help of AI, you are doing it in 1 day or less than 1 day, right? So that is what I feel is important, right? To enable AI deliver your products faster, right? So it's important. So what I'll suggest is at least understand what how the AI will help you in doing your job efficiently instead of directly saying no to it. And in terms of data engineering cloud, yeah, it's very important. There are edge cases, right? Because of data quality, a lot of things, right, where AI is able to predict a lot of behaviors in that data as compared to that of a manual developer. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is, what exact soft skill you had developed and you would highly recommend to freshers?
In terms of soft skills, the most important thing is confidence, right? Even if you know the language English, Hindi, Marathi, right, it's fine. But in terms of confidence, you should be confident enough to speak into a room full of 50 people, right, and explain them what you're thinking. Right, it should make an impact on their minds. So that is impact, because even if you have, let's say you are very good at speaking in English, right, but you are very nervous to speak a complete sentence, no one is going to hear you. So soft skills,
Hmm.
obviously good, but confidence along with soft skill, the best thing I can say.
Okay. Next question. I think we covered this other question. The other question is, what are your suggestions for someone right now in fourth semester as companies come for internships in fifth semester onwards?
Same. Like it doesn't matter whether you are in second or third year, right? It's always same, right? You have spent 2 years in the college. Uh, Fundamentals would have already been taught to you, right? Understand them, get your hands dirty with a small hackathon or lead code or whatever it is. You don't have to be pro into that.
Hmm.
Just understand the concepts. And what I think is that knowing the industry, what is going around in the industry. So I think it's the same thing I'll suggest.
Okay, right. Next is a question: how to improve English communication as a Marathi school student?
Uh, okay. So it's kind of a challenging, right? Because I'm not an English teacher, I can say. So in terms of English communication, I don't know. To be very frank, I don't want to give wrong answers over here, right? But what I'll suggest is try to speak with your colleagues or classmates in English, right? Uh, Spend some effort to go what exactly is going on, right? So that's all I can tell you.
Okay. How would you rank importance of DSA projects and soft skills for internship slash job perspective?
Okay. So I think these are the skills we actually look for. Okay, so
Mhm.
I think the question whoever asked these questions, I have not left anything out. So yeah, these are important because this is what you guys will get
Right.
interviewed about in your interviews, right? Understanding DSA in depth projects, right? People do projects, but didn't understand what exactly they are doing uh, as a part of their project is also not good, right? So whatever project you are doing, what you are doing, how you contributed, what was your team's contribution, right? How you coordinated with the team, that is important.
Right. Uh, Please suggest some projects to put on the resume for high impact.
It's not about the projects to put on the resume. It's about the project you do and what you learned out of it, right? There can be a simple Python script which can get you billions of dollars, right? Just
Mhm.
idea. I don't know whether you guys read it about something, but there was a guy who was kind of having difficulties to manage his expense bills, right? What he did is wrote a simple Python script, right, with the help of AI. and clicked all the picture of his receipts and put it into a folder. Now AI helped him to scan the whole folder of photos and generate a expense Excel on his local, right? If you see from a technical perspective, he didn't do anything exceptionally technical, but he solved a real life problem. And what he did is he started uh, bidding on his Python script, kind of a $5 per script, right? So that way, unexpectedly, in a year, he got somewhere around 10,000 people asking for that script, and I think 10,000 into $5 is what, $50,000? Yeah, a simple thing.
Right. So doing a thing on a larger scale, solving a problem is more important than actually.
Right. So it's like what your problem is, right? It's not the right project. It's what you are learning or what you are solving. It can be any project.
Right. Next question is, in the corporate world, is switching jobs or switching roles more effective for salary increment and technical growth?
More effective, maybe, may not be.
Hmm.
Right? Because ultimately, if you're doing a good work, you switch for some 20-30%, right? And going over there, you again have to start from scratch, building your network, doing things, training a team, right? Your growth can get impacted, right? Even if you're getting that salary. And ultimately, I think many times company want to retain their experienced people, right? They offer the same salary many times. So it's I don't think there is a right answer to this question, but yeah, it's a mix. It's all upon a personal journey. What do you want in your life? Whether you want growth or whether you want salary increments.
Okay. Next question is, what do you think about testing and data analyst as a career right now? And will there be jobs like this in the future?
Yes, there will be jobs like this in future, given that AI and LLMs are coming into picture, right? What your AI and LLM as a AI thing is getting the context out of your data is important. That is where data analyst actually need to understand what the AI is giving is right or wrong. One, and testing, yeah, I think it's pretty important given that there are a lot of softwares, a lot of new systems are coming in. Testing is important in order to ensure the quality of your product. One, but AI along with testing is much better.
Okay. Next question is, how important are hackathons and open source contributions specifically?
Very important, I can say that. Yeah, not in terms of your technical skills, but in terms of understanding where currently you are, right? Because if you can do lead code, right, on a predefined problem or a data set, it is not necessary that you can do a hackathon on a real life world problem statement also, well, right? That's for the hackathon. You get to know people. You get to work in a stress environment, right, where your hackathon is 10 hour, 12 hour, 24 hour. You need to solve that problem in that time frame only, right? So that's another thing. Open source contribution, yes, it's important. It helps you to understand the products or open source technologies into in depth, and it helps you to see how the open source world works, right? What are the standards over there? Because there are companies who are offering software for free, but do they offer the quality for free? That is also important. So open source contributions will teach you that.
Okay, cool. You mentioned networking. Okay, I think we have answered this one earlier. So if you were new, you can just look at the session on YouTube. We have posted the record. We'll post the recording soon. So, Sujit, do you have any other suggestions for students? Last parting words.
No suggestions, right? I've seen this whole session was completely technical and all those things, right, in terms of career growth and journey. But you guys also need to start knowing the college as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are your 4 years. You're going to make a lot of good friends, uh, memories. So don't just go behind career growth. That is important, right? I'll say that. But also the current, your present is also important. Go make some friends, right? Try to balance your non-career life versus career life is what I'll suggest.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Sujit. Thank you so much for taking out time. I know it's a Saturday, might have some other plans.
I'm really thankful that you guys invited me, right? It's good to be back to the college students. In fact, I visited recently the college. I see that the paint colors of the building got totally
Yes.
changed, right? I remember it in blue and white. Now it's
Mhm.
I think pale yellow and white. Something
Yes,
like
yes, Beach.
that. So it's good to be back.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sujeet. If anyone has any questions, they can actually send it to us, or they can connect with Sujeet on LinkedIn.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aryan. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Enjoy your weekend. Long holiday, in fact. Yeah.
Yes, quite a long one. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.